I guess I'll make this a YouTube update video. Yeah, it's only been like 3 or 4 videos, but it doesn't matter. I'll talk about Piro and Zombie Picture Show have both made videos defending some idea that microbes and plants feel and are conscious. Even saying it just bugs me because it seems that way. That's the evidence. It seems like it because they do things like this. This is a DNA molecule simulation, right? So you have these complex little proteins and whatnots that are basically, just atomic structures. Here's a good picture of them, right? And they do this atomic structure thing. They swing and they do this and they do. Oh, it looks all like it's alive. Ooh, that's trying. It's thirsty for DNA molecule. Give me some more DNA molecule. It's saying. Good. Yeah. And so you can anthropomorphize this stuff, but no, it's chemistry. Okay. And yeah, this is just a simulation, but it's probably not that far off. It's a chemical process. Tons and tons and tons, zillions of atoms perhaps, well, billions and billions of atoms right here in this little blob. And there's tons and tons and billions of that inside of us. The universe inside of you is bigger than the universe out there. That's how big you are. You're huge. If you think of us as being the smallest thing, if you make us the smallest thing in the universe, by the universe's standard. The universe might be bigger in a size thing, but in substance, in pieces. Okay, you're huge inside. Huge. If you use the quanta, the little tiny atomic particle as the base for our difference. Well, anyway, it's really big in there. Lots of stuff going on, but consciousness, because it moves, because it reacts chemically, we have to call it conscious? No, that's really going too far. It just breaks logic. It just breaks there's just no point in, I guess I'll do the update after I do the, I haven't written much on this subject yet because it's just so hard to say what. I have to ask the question, do you believe that plants feel? Is it dumber than believing in God, believing that plants feel? I almost think it is. Positive evidence. Okay, their behavior seems like they're trying to do something, like they want it, like whatever. Again, assuming a functionality they don't have the hardware to manifest, not even close to the hardware to manifest. And then, we'll go through the arguments. They are chemically complex. So there's no denying that plants, are a colony of cells, but complex and very chemically complex, compared to dirt or rocks. But they're not very complex compared to us. We kick their ass all over the place in terms of diversity of function and organs, and there's nothing, not even close. Everything they have, we have. That's the truth of it. But we kind of know. If I cut my arm off, right? If I just cut it off at the elbow there and keep it alive, keep the blood flowing, we know that thing is not conscious. It'll have lots of parts. You might even be able to stimulate it into moving, but it's not conscious. Come on, you know that. So the negative evidence, there should be a lot of it, but I'm just kind of like, well, how do I explain that consciousness is an event taking place in this very expensive brain? We have bodies that have to maintain this huge organ inside of us, the 3 pounds, but it's still huge in terms of its reach. The senses. If you pull your whole nervous system out, it has all the nerves and the eyeballs and the ears. All these things are tied to it. It's us. And it's not cheap. It does burn a lot of energy to do this thinking thing. And these people are basically saying you could just pull that out and you'd still have consciousness somewhere in this this slop because you have a bunch of cells with a bunch of microtubules, and somehow the microtubules are thinking and learning and interacting in a conscious way. It's just, I mean, Piro even compared it to rocks, like rocks are conscious, but just it's very weak. The lack of durability consciousness has. Now that right there should be a huge giveaway. You know, I mean, if our consciousness was built out of some sort of cellular devices, just crude, simple devices, first off, by a paramecium's standard, we should be a hell of a lot smarter. You know, I mean, you just can't even calculate. I mean, they're, you know, if you just go by what they look like they're doing, even that molecule splitting the DNA looks like it's doing so much more. If you took a zillion of those, I mean, a zillion nucleic acid splitter molecule brain, you'd think, man, that should be able to do a lot of stuff. Because look how that thing can move backward and forward and right and left and up and down. And, you know, if you multiply that times affinity almost, yeah, you get a really big number. And it's not. Our function is pretty robotic. Most of our behavior is pretty predictable. Most of it's very reflexive, very knee-jerky, most of it. And so for this little tiny bit of the behavior that we are paying such a high price to get, that little bit of extra, that makes all the difference. Anyway, the lack of durability. So yeah, you can get, it can make you unconscious in so many ways so easily by messing with this gray matter. So I mean, it sort of just gives it away. It's vital to the consciousness. Without it, you're not going to have the consciousness. Without these brain parts, you're not going to be conscious. It doesn't matter how many, all your zillions of cells and all their microtubules are not going to make you conscious again. Alright, so this is the key thing here. Known to be conscious organisms are a different order of life forms. So I've made this argument, so I'll make it again. Okay? We aren't even original style life forms. I mean, you can't really call what a paramecium is and what a human being is and call them the same thing. Because we're made out of those things. We're made out of single cell organisms. And we basically are just captured them. We confine them. We order them to be specific types of cells. We force their construction and force their labor. And we are the colony. We're an expression of a collection of cells, and especially our consciousness is completely maintained by what rides on the cells, not the cells themselves. I mean, it's the electricity moving on the neurons that makes your perceptions. It's not the cells themselves that make you perceive. It's what's riding on them and the reactions it creates. And again, it is this theater argument, an illusion argument even, that what is consciousness? And I think it's just silly to think that you don't need one of these big, large brains, one of these mammal-style type brains, even, some, you can go back to like reptiles, even dinosaur kind of brain. Any brain that can learn in some coherent manner, like feel negative and then appreciate that, okay, that behavior didn't work, try some other behavior. And it can have a variety of behaviors that are possible and choose them based on the outcomes. Parameciums don't have that ability. They can only learn through evolution. You can evolve them into something, to always turn right. You can evolve a paramecium to do that pretty easily. But you can't teach them to do that as individuals. Anyway, made of living things, not really a living thing itself. So yes, we're an organization of cells, and our consciousness is an illusion created, a byproduct of a brain that basically, I've said this before too, but I think it's just dead on, that your brain creates two things. First, it creates a feeling, a problem, a noise. So it's like it duplicates reality in a weird way, where instead of the threat being explicit, the threat is turned into an aggravation. So it's given a value weight is attached to it. It turns the negatives into like bogeymen or bad colors or bad sensations to create in us an understanding of a threat. And then our brain, the rest of our brain, is used. So our first part of our brain is creating this fake world of negative or positive, attractive or repulsive, tagged perceptions. And then the next level of our brain tries to resolve the problem by finding a solution to a negative or a solution to the want to have the positive. So it deals with the fight or flight situation or the feed or flight situation. So they probably should change that to feed, flight, or fight, because we are desire driven, and feed can be, the most precious food of them all, the nectar of the gods, so to speak. Alright, electrical, not chemical, many magnitudes more complex. So that's all I've gotten so far. So, but obviously our brain is working on electricity, and neurons are a key component, and that is where the consciousness is manifest. And you're not going to take that system and say it has any applicability, that you can just sit there and say, oh, consciousness just occurs in all kinds of things. Any system that has any kind of tangle of wires is automatically conscious. I just think that's irrational. It's presumptive. It's thinly veiled, totem polery. It's seeing the tree move, crack in the night and blaming it on the boogeyman. It's just wrong. So anyway, so I do have to turn this into some sort of questions, I suppose. But it's like, this shouldn't even be a subject I have to deal with. I guess the only reason why it compels me to deal with it is it's completely advantageous to my argument. I mean, life is a super fail if parameciums are struggling. Because that means that all the insects do feel. That means that they could be going through horrid torture while they're metamorphizing. I mean, just the carnage on this planet, it gets obscene if we start making all these other organisms conscious. I mean, incredibly obscene, the failure of this stupid game. So it's to my advantage to say that all these things feel. But I don't, it's not to my advantage to have an uncertain playing field. And I see that as a fallacious premise. I see it as just a disastrously stupid premise. So I'm not going to go there, even though it would work for me. But yeah, it seems like a huge cheat of the argument, because I don't think there's any chance in hell parameciums feel or suffer. Just not possible for them to be manifesting the theater that our complex brain creates inside of us. And theater is the right, there might be a better word, but I mean, it's creating something that isn't really the real thing. It's a play. It's a redoing of reality inside our brain. And, I mean, it feels like it's real. As Einstein would say, it's one hell of an illusion. It is. But it is probably just an illusion. It doesn't matter, because it's such a powerfully strong. Once you taste it, once you know it, you just couldn't deny its substance. Yeah, there's no way to diminish the meaning of it. If you were isolated, one individual feeling on one cold planet in the universe, you would know how important you were. You would know that your feelings mattered. You wouldn't have any doubt that it mattered. So I just don't know how to deal with this, though. And it's symptomatic of a real problem here, is that language is going to get so broken, and we don't have any common premises to argue from. So it's like we can't have a discussion about reality if, this kind of breaking of any continuity is going to be acceptable. There's nowhere to go with this. Anyway, there was some other thing I wanted to comment on. Oh, yeah, there's this guy, Truth Virus, and he was posting my old Vloggerdome videos, and then he closed his channel. And I don't know if anybody has the story on that, but I would be interested. There was some guy who was really offended by some kind of Schopenhauer stuff because of my comments in Stickam saying I didn't think much of Schopenhauer, and he went on this whole big long tirade, and I don't really understand it. I don't know why Schopenhauer has to be the god of this subject, because I don't think he was very explicit. I mean, he talked about Buddhism giving him comfort. I mean, can you make any sense out of that? Where's the comfort in any kind of Buddhist or Hindu religion? Just, keep taking it up the butt forever. That's comforting. See all these little blank spaces are the videos he took down. Well, he closed the channel, so they went down automatically. So anyway, just very strange. I don't know why he abruptly discontinued the process. I mean, I do have to think, it would be nice if I can order. The other videos are available. The ones that are not accessible on Vloggerdome, they do exist. they're still on the server, and if you know the number of them, you can still access them. I guess I should just post those two directories. I don't think there's anything too interesting in there. But if you know the number of the video, like if you go to the part where it shows what number it was in FLV file, and it's usually called FLV, a number, and then .FLV. So if you know that number, it's either in a directory called inmendham.com, GD1/A1/. So it's either the A1 or the A2. So it's GD1/A2 or A1. And in those two directories are the FLV files, MP3 files, whatever files. I had to move them to other directories, and so that's where they ended up. So, just saying, if you're looking for those video files, that's where they are. Anyway, so much I gotta work on, and I'm really tired. See, I mean, I can even hear myself being really tired. I'm really something anyway. I'm sick of it. I'm just sick of people being so stupid. Just irritating the fuck out of me. So anyway, the last 4 videos I did on the Vloggerdome and Do Not God website. So Vloggerdome's got one. I did an initial video on the internet talking about, the idea of having some public infrastructure on the internet and how nice that would be, and blah blah blah. And so I have to work on that, of course. Did a response to part of Hannibal Lecter. I wish he had the character of a Hannibal Lecter, but no. Instead, he's just something Hannibal Lecter would shit. Anyway, Hannibal shit. Anyway, Hannibal Bark. What it doesn't matter. That Hannibal guy. I was just, I played part of his video. He didn't apologize for being a propagandist, and so that's all I cared about. So anyway, I responded to part of his video. Luddite Returns. Did another video response to him, but it's the same old crap. He's not arguing anti-natalism. He's not arguing the fundamental facts of reality that are primarily the substance of anti-natalist or etholist philosophy. And, if you just put together 3 or 4 of those facts, consumption, reproduction, cannibalism, addiction, reproduction for the sake of reproduction, unneeded need creation, the fact that we just don't, that the fail-safe is the reasonable choice of the choices we have, that there's nothing to be gained, that we will be extinct eventually anyway. The universe is going to disseminate you into little tiny, bits. And so there's every reason to just do this gracefully rather than ungracefully. And then free will, I did another response video to zombie picture show, who, you know, it's nice they made a video, but he's just not getting the issues that need to be argued, which is the word free and the word will, which are both stupid words. Yeah. So, it's a game over with those words. You can't even go anywhere with those words. They're useless words. So anyway, that's enough of video and such. So I shall retire to Bedlam and whatnot. Yeah, it's all very depressing.